Adaptogenic herbs revolutionize stress management and health restoration with Dr. Hummel's insights.
Adaptogens are profoundly beneficial herbs, and there are primarily three things that are very important with adaptogens. What do you need to know about them? Number one, they are safe and non-toxic. Basically, they are non-toxic at physiological dosing. In other words, at normal dosing, they are non-toxic. And that's a really important component of an adaptogenic herb, meaning that you can take this and know that you're not going to get bad side effects if you keep taking it. And sometimes herbs can be toxic if you take them for too long or at too high a dose. So it's important to recognize that's an important aspect of adaptogens. Number two, they help us adapt or deal with stress. And that's a very, very important thing in our modern society. We deal with a lot of stressors. I know I do, everybody does. And so adaptogenic herbs are profoundly beneficial for us in helping us deal with stress. Typically, I like to recommend taking adaptogenic herbs normally in the mornings, like morning, mid-afternoon time period at the latest, because some of them can be very stimulating. So number three, and that's not true across the board, but number three, and this is really important, is that they restore health and homeostasis in our body. What do I mean by homeostasis? I mean, they bring us back from dysregulation, from a state where things are not functioning correctly, back to a state of things functioning correctly. There's a thing called positive feedback loop, where you do something, it causes a negative effect, which compounds on another negative effect, and another negative effect, and it just keeps getting worse over time. You don't get better. So you have to block that positive feedback loop and shift towards a negative feedback loop, meaning that we stop it and we start functioning normally. And adaptogens are herbs that help us do that. So those are the three main components of adaptogens. So really cool little piece of information. I've had the opportunity the last couple of years to work with Donnie Yance, who literally wrote the book on adaptogens. He's a profoundly amazing herbalist, very, very intelligent man. And he told me this story. He said that, originally when they were testing adaptogenic herbs, and one of the things that they do to determine if they are in fact adaptogens is they do this on animals. They make sure they're non-toxic. And number two, when they're determining how they affect stress and help us deal with stress, what they do is they look at the adrenal glands. And so they would put these animals under really, really high stress situations. And then, of course, they would dissect them and look at their adrenal glands, and they would see the adrenal glands under really high stress situations. Now, these animals, when they're placed in that way, would have a lot of negative health effects. It's very sad, but their adrenal glands would get really enlarged due to that high stress situations. And so one of the things that is really important about taking adaptogens is when you do so, those animals showed that their adrenal glands did not enlarge, and they typically didn't have the same level of negative health effects, even though they were placed under the same high stress situations. Adaptogens, really, really cool herbs, general category of herb. So let's talk about some of my favorite ones. I'll talk about three. First one would be Withania somnifera, also known as ashwagandha. Somnifera kind of refers to its somnolescent effect. So this is one of those exceptions in adaptogens where it may actually help you sleep. It can make you calm and go to sleep because it helps you deal with that stress. So that's a good thing. It has kind of an Ayurvedic side to it, where it is described as kind of having a smell of wet horsehair, and it was known as improving libido. And so that's a big component of Withania. So really great herb. The other one that I really like is one of my favorites is Panax ginseng. I like all of the ginsengs, but I really like Panax ginseng because it's really stimulating, gives lots of what I would call high levels of energy, but sustainable energy, can make you feel better. It's definitely one of the more morning herbs. Helps with inflammation, helps us heal in general, good for people with asthma. I found that to be very, very helpful in that population. Panax ginseng, but any of the ginsengs can be really good for different reasons. Another one is Eleutherococcus, which is also known as Russian ginseng. And that one also works in a very similar manner, very energizing, but typically not as stimulating as Panax ginseng. So these are really, really great herbs. And those are three examples of them that you can utilize and bring into your daily life. So I hope you guys learned something from today and that you like this video. And follow me, go to my website. I'm trying to build up a good following here so I can start doing lives on TikTok, which I'd love to do, and answer questions and connect to a really good community interested in natural health, wellness, and longevity. All right. Thanks for tuning in.